everyone, and welcome back to Plus Ultra Pitching. Last week we introduced our first outdoor warm-up sequence for just general physical preparedness. This week we're going to build on that, and I think I mentioned in our indoor series that I love using plyometric movements to warm up my athletes because it just builds their overall athleticism. And I see it come through in their pitching. You as a coach might also see it come through in their hitting, base running, fielding, etc. So I'd highly recommend checking out some of the movements in this video, because this video is going to be a little bit different. Indoors, I was not wearing shoes. Out here you can see that I am wearing some sneakers. And so I don't use the agility ladder when I'm outside. When I'm outdoors, I do a couple different movements. Let's get into them. Some of these will look similar. So the first one that we do is the same thing that we do indoors. We're going to do that heel to toe walk. So having our pitchers, any softball player really, start walking on the toe of their foot. They're going to come up and exaggerate and land. They'll start walking on the heel, come up to their toe rather. You can get an arm swing in here. Also, have them go down and back, I don't know, a specified amount. Once you're done with the heel to toe walks, you'll transition to just walking on your heels. So you're gonna pull your toes up off the ground, kind of walk like a penguin. And then to warm up our calves a little bit, we're gonna pull our heels up off the ground and just walk on our toes. Just to get our feet, ankles, everything moving, warmed up, ready to go. After we do that, this is where the differences start to come in. I like to have my girls do 5 pogo jumps followed by 2 broad jumps down whatever your specified length is that you're warming them up on. I usually do maybe like 25 to 50 feet. I have them go through this at least 3 times. So the pogo jump is, I'll show you facing forward and then also facing sideways. Legs together, feet together, and we're going to jump up in the air, staying on the balls of our feet. Kind of like a penguin jump or like you're jumping rope. You're going to do 5 of those, followed by 2 broad jumps. Now I've got a whole video introducing broad jumps that I will include in the description below, but very briefly, a broad jump is keeping our feet hip, shoulder distance apart, whatever you think you'll get the most explosiveness out of. We're going to send our hips back, so our chest is going to come forward over our toes. Arms go back, and what we're going to do is we're going to extend our hips forward. So notice my hips went from this flex position relative to my chest to extended. Now there's no more angle, and jump forward as far as you can. So 5 pogo jumps and 2 broad jumps. Like I said, I have my pitchers go through that sequence at least 3 times, but you can do longer if you want. After that, we're going to do some single leg hopping, and this is going to look a little different. Instead of hopping on one leg the whole way down like we did for the agility ladder, I'm going to have our pitchers hop and land on the opposite foot. So I'm starting on my right foot, I'm going to hop and land on my left, hop and land on my right, keeping the foot that's in the air, keeping this knee back behind the knee that is our standing leg on the ground to stay nice and athletic. Let me show you a front view so you can just see the way that my footwork is working. After the single leg hopping, we're going to go into one of my all-time favorite movements, which is rotational speed skaters is what I'm calling them. This was inspired by Daru Strong also. I'm going to be facing you, my audience, right now, and I'm going to be hopping off of my outside leg, so the leg that is further away from the direction that I'm hopping towards. In this case, I'm going to be hopping off my right leg. So what I'm going to do, get nice and athletic, and I'm going to hop and turn my body in the air and land on my left leg facing the left side for me. I went from facing straight on. When I'm hopping off my right, I'm going to land and face my left hand side on my left leg, and then I'm going to hop up in the air. Let me show you how this is going to look. So start facing you, jumping off my right leg. I'm going to turn and hop land on my left. Now I'm facing towards that left-hand side, and I'm gonna hop as high as I can and catch myself on either 1 or 2 feet. If I were to go back the other direction, now I'm facing you, I'm gonna hop off my left leg, I'm gonna turn and land on my right leg, and then hop in the air and catch myself. I'm gonna show you one more time, showing you what it will look like if you were to land on both feet. So turn, hop, land. You can practice landing in that athletic stance as if you're fielding a ground ball. All right, after that, we're gonna go through some bear crawls, forward and backward. So bear crawls, we're gonna get onto all fours, hips up in the air. I'm gonna move my right hand and my left leg forward at the same time, and then my left hand and my right leg forward at the same time. So opposite limbs are moving at opposite times. You're gonna go forward, and then we're gonna go backwards. This is a great exercise for the core. Let me show you what that will look like coming towards the camera. Oh, great for the core. And then the last plyometric I like to have them do is what I call Super Mario jumps, because it reminds me of the video game when Super Mario is going hitting the brick boxes above his head. You're gonna just have your pitchers skip and jump as high as they possibly can, trying to break those brick boxes above their head. Pew! Add sound effects for the real video game effect. And those are going to be our movements for our outdoor plyometrics. Starting with our heel to toe walking, walking on our heels, walking on our toes, pogo jumps into broad jumps. After the pogo jumps to broad jumps, we're going to do single leg jumps. After the single leg jumps, we are going to do our rotational speed skaters. After the rotational speed skaters, bear crawls, forward and backward. And then after the bear crawls, we're going to finish with some Super Mario jumps. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We put out new videos every single week. I will see you guys next week. And as always, plus ultra.